everyone. Welcome to The Old Man and the Read. My name is Jerry. Today I'm going to do the fifth and final video from the series I'm doing of Nobel Prize winners' books that I've read. I've done 4 previous videos, and those were covering the years 1901 to 1928, 1929 to 1953, 1954 to 1980, 1981 to 2002, and today I'm doing 2003 to 2022, which is current as of when I'm recording this video. So I will now begin. So in the year 2003, the Nobel Prize winner was J.M. Coetzee. He's from South Africa. He wrote novel and essay, and I've read quite a few of his books. So the first I have is In the Heart of the Country, Disgrace, Waiting for the Barbarians, Diary of a Bad Year, Elizabeth Costello, The Master of Petersburg, Summertime, Age of Iron, my favorite Coetzee book, Life and Times of Michael K. Foe, The School Days of Jesus, Slow Man, The Childhood of Jesus, and last of the Coetzee books, Youth. Then in 2004, the winner was Elfriede Jelinek. She's from Austria, and she wrote novel and drama, and I've only read 2 of her books. The first is Wonderful, Wonderful Times, and the other is Greed. In 2005, the winner was Harold Pinter. He's somebody that's in several of the literary award-winning categories, but he won in 2005. He's from the UK, and he wrote drama and screenplay, and I've read just one play, The Homecoming. Then in 2006, the winner was Orhan Pamuk from Turkey, and he wrote novel and essay, and I've read a few of his books, The White Castle, Museum of Innocence, My Name is Red, The New Life, Snow, and the last of his books is Other Colors. It's essays and a story. In 2007, the winner was Doris Lessing. She's from the UK, originally from Zimbabwe. She wrote novel and short story, and I've read quite a few of her books. So this is the list. First is The Golden Notebook. The Story of a Non-Marrying Man. The Fifth Child. One of my favorite titles for a book, Briefing for a Descent into Hell. The Cleft. Short story compilation, African Stories. Martha Quest. The Grass is Singing. Another short story compilation, and it's just titled Doris Lessing Stories. Mara and Dan. And The Good Terrorist. And then the next 5 books are from a science fiction series that she's did titled Canopus in Argos. And the first is Shikasta. The Marriages Between Zones 3, 4, and 5. The Syrian Experiments. The Making of the Representative for Planet 8. And finally, of Doris Lessing books, The Sentimental Agents. And that's everything from Doris Lessing. Then, in 2008, the winner was J.M.G. Leclisio. He's from France, and he wrote novel and short story, and I've read a few of his. The first is Wandering Star. And The Round and Other Cold Hard Facts. The Interrogation. Desert. Mondo and Other Stories. The African. Onitsha. The Mexican Dream, are the interrupted thought of Amerindians civilizations. And finally, of Leclisio, The Prospector. And that's everything I've read from him. In 2009, the winner was Herta Müller of Germany, originally from Romania, and she wrote novel and short story. And the first is The Passport. The Hunger Angel. The Land of Green Plums. The Appointment. Traveling on One Leg. And finally, The Fox Was Ever the Hunter. In 2010, the winner was Mario Vargas Llosa from Peru in Spain. He wrote novel and short story, and I've read several of his books. The first, Aunt Julia and the Scriptwriter. The Storyteller. The Way to Paradise. Who Killed Palomino Malero? My favorite Vargas Llosa book is The War of the End of the World. Captain Pantoja and the Special Service. The Real Life of Alejandro Mata. Feast of the Goat. The Greenhouse. The Bad Girl. The Neighborhood. Death in the Andes. And finally, The Discreet Hero. Okay, so in 2011, the winner was Thomas Tranströmer of Sweden, and he wrote poetry, and I've only read one book of poetry by him, The Half-Finished Heaven. And that was all I've read from Tranströmer. In 2012, the winner was Mo Yan of China, and he wrote novel and short stories, and I've only read 3 of his books. The first is Red Sorghum, The Garlic Ballads, and Shifu, You'll Do Anything for a Laugh. In 2013, the winner was Alice Munro from Canada. She wrote short story, and so all of her books are compilations of short stories, and I've read 4 of her books, I guess. So the first is The View from Castle Rock, The Beggar Maid, The Love of a Good Woman, and finally just a book titled Selected Stories. In 2014, the winner was Patrick Modiano from France. He wrote novel, and I've read a few of his books. The first is Suspended Sentences, Young Once, In the Cafe of Lost Youth, Dora Bruder, Missing Person, Villa Triste, Honeymoon, Paris Nocturne, and finally a trilogy called the Occupation Trilogy. So 3 novellas in one book. Okay, 2015, the winner was Svetlana Alexievich of Belarus, and she wrote History and Essay, and she's an interesting writer. They're basically essay, I would call these, but they're books taken from interviews she did of people in various situations. So the first is The Voices from Chernobyl. Zinky Boys, Soviet Voices from the Afghanistan War. The Unwomanly Face of War. And the last of the books that I've read from her, Secondhand Time, The Last of the Soviets. Okay, then we move to 2016, and it's kind of an interesting year. The winner was Bob Dylan. Now, when I heard that, I was really questioning, I thought, that's just politics. I knew he had poetic lyrics. I just thought of him as a songwriter and a singer. But since he won the Nobel, and I had made a commitment to read at least one book by each Nobel Prize winner, I bought a book of lyrics. But it's written, as poetry, and that's what it is, poetry. But this is lyrics 1962 to 1985. And I was really surprised at how good his poetry is. I mean, it's some of the best poetry I've ever read. So it's a well-deserved Nobel Prize. Okay. In 2017, the winner was Kazuo Ishiguro, and he's from the UK originally. He was born in Japan, but he wrote novel and short story. And the first is The Remains of the Day, and he's exceptionally good. A lot of his books are written as if it's written by the protagonist in the story, and this was an English butler. So it was written just in a very proper Butler-type style, and I thought it was exceptionally good. This is The Unconsoled. An Artist of the Floating World. Nocturnes. The Buried Giant. Clara and the Sun. And the last of his books that I've read is When We Were Orphans. Okay, then in 2018, the winner was Olga Tokarczuk of Poland. She wrote novel and short stories, and I've just read one book by her. It's Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead. She's actually quite a good writer. I really plan on reading more of her books. I just haven't yet, but that was quite good. Then in 2019, the winner was Peter Hadke. He's from Austria, wrote novel and short story, and I've only read one book of him, The Goalie's Anxiety at the Penalty Kick. And I have to say I wasn't real excited about his work. I read the one book, and to me it sounded like it was written by a 10-year-old or something. I didn't like it at all. In 2020, the winner was Louise Gluck from the United States. She wrote poetry, and I've just read one book of poetry by her, Averno. Then in 2021, the winner was Abdul Razak Gurna from Tanzania. And he wrote novel short story. I've just read one book, but he was quite good, Paradise. So I intend to read more of his work too. And finally, in 2022, the winner was Annie Ernaux from France. She wrote autobiography and novel, and I've only read one book, but I really intend to read much more from her. But this is Getting Lost, and it's interesting. This is actually taken directly from a diary she kept while she was in a love affair with a Russian diplomat. But you know, just the writing was exceptional, and I was so impressed because you know it's straight from a diary. It was unedited writing, so it was quite good. So I really want to read more. And so that ends my series of videos on the Nobel Prize winners. And I want to thank you for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed them. And we'll watch some of my other videos. Thanks.